Hi everyone. Today is still Wednesday, uh, April the 27th, 2022. Second video of the day. So, yeah, I wonder what's going on. Perhaps. Well, though, you know what? It's the time um, for Mercury. Mercury is transiting certain houses that change communication patterns, and I say change, not necessarily increase. They just not necessarily increase or decrease, but just change based on your chart. So, what do I want to talk about? A question was raised about. Well, in summary, it was about gold revaluation and about the balance of power shifting, essentially, because the balance of power shifting in favor of Russia and China because of the gold they've been accumulating. And gee, what if there is a gold revaluation? Then what happens? So, okay, I tend not to worry very much about gold revaluations. And why? Why do I tend not to? Well, it's not like I don't think that would happen. The thing is, a lot of people who go like overly enthusiastic in gold, like at usually whenever anybody does anything with that gung-ho, this thing, they always do it at the wrong time. but that aside, when people think of oh my god, it'll get okay, so I'm going to give you like the Greek thought, right? Oh, it'll go, to the moon, or silver will go to 300, this, that, whatever, okay? Like, people have those gung-ho ideas, and they like count their chickens before they're hatched, so to speak. I don't know if they use that phrase in America, but the one where you like counting your eggs before they're hatched kind of thing, or counting your chickens before the eggs are even hatched. So, and then they go in that mode of thinking, and then it doesn't happen, and then they're like, gold did nothing, or silver did nothing. No. And by the way, I'm not suggesting that this time that revaluation won't happen and things will be all like, come see, come sa again. That's not what I'm suggesting. But what I am suggesting, what I'm actually hoping for, is that sort of revaluation thing, it happens later, like, not soon, not in a what they call in a disorderly fashion. In fact, a lot of these kind of a lot of this what they call papering over by central banking entities, not just the Federal Reserve, but even the European Central Bank, and then the granddaddy of them all, which is the Bank for International Settlements, and the central banking token that they want to introduce. All those things, they do these kind of things to keep the ocean looking stable, and to not introduce too many like splash bang things, because people, and I may have said this before, but people in power do not like disorder. They do not like chaos. And why is that? Just think about it logically. Anybody who has resources wants that to continue by definition. And what makes things continue? Orderly things. They want order and control and calm, and just like that. not some crazy to the moon thing. I don't want that. They don't mind if, you know, people, because of all the stuff they generate, if other people get all speculative and some go to the moon and others are like, you know, left for the dogs, or whatever metaphor of your choice. They don't care if that happens to others, but they don't want that to happen on an overall level for themselves. Therefore, they like things that are orderly. And frankly, so do I. I don't want a disorderly doubling of gold price. You know, that would, my God. Okay. But to answer your question, if things were revalued, what am I making up English words? If things were revalued, which they will be, you know, the same way as after Nixon took in everybody's deposits of $20 gold coins, replaced it with paper, he revalued those same gold coins to $35, and thus triggered a whole decade of inflation. And the same thing, you know, that was what, in 1932-33, and then the same way as that, you know, the Nixon defaulted on the whole world on their gold receipts in 1971, and then made the petrol deal and all that. You see that, even that, to sort of stabilize, right? Because otherwise you have this disorderly thing again. So I think the next thing, the intermediate thing, will be some sort of stable coin-ish, masquerading as a stable coin, but actually a central banking token. That may carry on the game for people who don't know better for the next few more years, I think. But then ultimately, yes, sure, there would have to be some sort of revaluation. But when you do a revaluation, you do the revaluation after you have like settled up all of your, like, all of the debts, because you don't want to revalue while you are like $29 trillion in debt, in national debt. You want to eliminate some of that through inflation, hyperinflation, wars, all kinds of crap, okay? And then ultimately you revalue the thing. Okay, so the question raised was, well, like with Russia and China increasing their gold reserves, wouldn't they have more power? So this is a very it's a very relative kind of a topic, and I'll tell you why. A lot of press is given to the fact that foreign countries have been de-dollarizing. They have been decreasing their you know, their dollar reserves. They have been decreasing like the amount of foreign exchange, but they've been decreasing the percentage of assets that they hold as US dollars in favor of gold. And so that, of course, that lowers the demand for dollars, which means that lowers you know, it lowers, well, yeah, it lowers the need for dollars, basically. So that seems like a big deal, and yes, it is, but here's something to think about. What percentage of US reserves are held as what percentage of foreign assets does the US hold? Have you ever thought about that? How many euros and stuff do we have? And now the key question, because I think what happened, I think China increased their gold reserves. Of their total amount of reserves, they increased their gold percentage to what, 20 or something? And then Russia also holds 20% of their reserves in gold. And granted, Russia does not have much debt. Okay, I think they have like 10%, 10 or 20%, 10% debt is what they have. Their central bank for a woman is actually, she's very smart. But anyway, so what is our percentage? What is America's percentage of gold in terms of percentage of other foreign assets? Answers, anyone? Leave it in the comment. No, I'll tell you the answer. 80%. Yep, that's right. We only have 20% of our reserves are non-gold. Only 20%. And here's another fun fact. This is, I think, from the book by, who is it? Well, it's Jim Rickards, but I'm trying to remember which book it was from. Is it Currency Wars, or is it the New Case for Gold? Yeah. Ah, damn it. I hate it when this happens. Someone like random made eye contact with me and I completely lost my train of thought. And I don't know how to edit videos, so this is going to remain. But okay, so, oh yeah, I remembered. Okay, so 80% of our reserves are gold. And the big one is the first line item. Yeah, it's from the New Case for Gold in chapter number 1. The first line item of the Federal Reserve's balance sheet states their asset, however many tons, 8,000 or so, 8,000 tons of gold. That is their first line item. But get this, it is valued at 35 or 30 or 42, something like that, $35 or $42 per ounce. That's right. It is valued at their acquisition cost. It is not, those assets have not been marked to market. Remember that. Always remember that. And therefore, if you ever want to know whether the United States or the Federal Reserve System, which is a private bank, don't forget, it's not a government bank. If you want to know whether we are solvent or not, whether the Federal Reserve, is solvent or not, you have to go and look at that line item in today's gold valuation, and that will give you the answer. And the one time that that gold will get revalued, I believe it will only happen after they've wreaked enough havoc and lowered the debt that they owe back. And at that point, if they revalue, we actually have this country has a lot of gold actually. Relatively speaking, foreign countries don't have as much. That balance is shifting, to be sure. Yes, Russia and China are increasing their ability to maybe have a seat at the table, so to speak. However, here's how I like to think about it. So back in with the Bretton Woods Agreement in 1944, what was decided was that basically the US would serve as the reserve currency, and foreign countries, when they'd export out their goods to America, America would basically owe the foreign countries in in gold valued at that $35 per ounce level. Now, when that was breaking apart, because it became pretty clear, and I think Charles de Gaulle is the one who called it out in the late 60s, where in that speech of his where he said, this is an exorbitant privilege that the United States has. He was absolutely right, because essentially the US had been buying all these nice things from everywhere, but they owe them back gold. And he began to realize that if America continues at this rate, they're not going to be able to pay back what they owe like this. And so if each country kept coming to take everything, to redeem, so to speak, right? And that's why, don't you love American metaphors? That's why Nixon closed the gold window. Closed the window. It's bullshit. He defaulted. He said he would pay back in gold, and he didn't. That's what actually happened. So here's how. A long lead up to what the point I was making is, the way I look at it is, people may say that, oh, China's acquiring so much gold. Oh, India's acquiring so much gold. Well, no, that's not how I look at it. The way I look at it is, well, no, they're taking the bullshit paper currency that they're getting, and they are buying gold with it. I think that's a smart thing to do. I think what's even another smart thing to do for yourself as an individual is, as soon as you earn your paycheck, go buy something real with it. And by real, you know what I mean. I don't mean real plastic. I mean something substantial, something of worth, something of value, right? Don't buy bullshit with what you earn. When you earn, and don't leave it as digits on a screen, for God's sake. Okay. But anyway, so that's what foreign countries are doing. They are, or I should say, the intelligent foreign countries. That's what they're doing. They're selling us plastic shit. They're selling us all kinds of crap. We, the people, are buying this crap. That's our choice, right? What we decide to do. And then they are taking that income that they're legitimately earning for selling us whatever crap they're making, and then they're turning right round and buying gold with it. Smart move. Very smart. We should do the same. That's what I have to say about that. Okay, so will gold get revalued? Yeah, sure. I'm in no hurry. Like I said, I don't know whether it was on the previous video or, well, it was definitely a previous video. I just don't know if it was this morning or yesterday or when. But the way to think about gold is not as a lottery ticket. It is a preserver of purchasing power. And as such, it is something that will preserve your ability to buy what you could have bought with the same thing today. It helps you buy that same thing at any point in the time-space continuum. And what do I mean when I say time-space continuum? Like I was explaining to a friend of mine, think about it in terms of like a good college education. How many gold ounces was, wow, that's a beautiful airplane. That's a private airplane too. A lot of private airplanes these days flying around. Anyways, college education. How many ounces of gold was at a good school? Now, whether that used to be Oxford or Cambridge or or Harvard or Stanford or God knows where else, the University of Mars, University of Beijing, whatever, wherever the new world power moves to, right? So what would an education at that place, at whatever is the world-class place of that present, in the future, or whenever, in your own time and space, what would that, how many ounces would buy you a good education? You do that math for like, you know, the 1970s. Do it even in the 1850s or so. Like, check out what it was in like Vienna, you know, for like Carl Jung and for Freud, and you know, the places where they got educated, and how much was it to get a good education in that era. Run the same thing, you know, now in gold, and you know, for the good places. I don't mean, don't do an apples to oranges comparison, do an even comparison, and you will see that that number always remains the same. And so that's the way to look at it, really. Yeah. Okay, I think that's about all I had. Thank you for listening. Take care. Bye.